Just in terms of results that can be achieved, so just to demonstrate what I've just been talking about, we did some work with Argos, who actually allowed us to put together a case study. We replaced the Argos product feed as it was, which was okay, but it had a few problems with price discounting, categorization, and it didn't really have rich attributes. But you can see the kind of results that we're able to achieve, which demonstrates that actually the quality of your product feed makes a difference to the revenues that you can generate. So, what's the best way to approach feed marketing? And I use the term feed marketing because, like I said before, although affiliate's an important part of this, generally a lot of the feed practice we're talking about here goes across lots of different channels. I found this little cartoon. I thought it was quite good, really, because it's the way a lot of merchants have tried to deal with this problem up to now is, you know, there's a bad quality product feed. Well, let's put some more effort into marketing it then, because, you know, we can't actually fix the root problem. I think it's really important here to fix the root problem. And how do you do that? Well, first of all, like I said, you need to think about feed marketing as an online discipline. It's kind of like, you know, you've got email marketing and you've got display advertising and so on. They've all got their different facets. You know, your product feeds cover so many different areas, you can almost take it as a category. You've got to think then, obviously, about all the different applications that you're likely to use your feed for. Everyone should be using Google Shopping if they're a retail client because it's free and therefore brings you, you know, great return, a significant return on investment. If you've got an affiliate program and you fall into those categories we talked about before, again, the product feed should be a really important part of the tool set that you have to generate revenues. I think Luke will back me up on the search marketing piece because Artemis 8 are doing a lot of this. But using a feed to power search campaigns is a really effective way of not just getting into the long tail of search, but also improving the quality of the actual creative that you display in your search campaigns. Idelo are a fantastic example of a CSE who use rich attribute information to help consumers find products, and you'll be seeing some examples of that in that presentation. But again, it's only through rich product feeds that you can get that full experience on CSEs. And email marketing and display advertising as well. There's a whole list here. There's mobile, there's you know, things like eBay stores and so on. So, what do you do? How do you start improving your feeds or create your feed? First thing you need to do is make sure you get feedback. Before you do anything else, you know, look at what other people are doing, talk to your network. Probably one of the most important points, number 3 there. Your network's going to be able to help you out with this process. So Hero and the team at Webgains particularly have a good focus on product feeds. In fact, generally you'll ensure that the feed's in place before you even start the program, as I understand, which is the best way to do it. If you start the program without the feed, then often you're going to miss opportunities when you promote it. Put together a proposed schema of what your product feed would look like before you build it. Again, before you send that to the IT department or you get some outside help, you know, figure out what might be in your product feed and then send it to Webgains, send it out to some affiliates, and in fact, Webgains will help you do that. Some IAB feed guidelines are about to be published. Myself and also Luke here from Artemis 8 collaborated on those. Those are being ratified by the IAB Affiliate Council, so that's going to be a really good source as well of information for you. So make sure you indicate an interest to receive those. Or, you know, I had to put a little plug in there, didn't I? Or simply ask a company like Fuse Pump to build your feed for you. This is quite funny, but the reason I put this up here is because actually it's quite true. In a sense, it's the way we approach things at Fuse Pump anyways. Get all the information you can in your feed, and then we'll think of a use for it later. Well, what do you need to put in your product feed? There are some absolute essentials, which are on the left-hand side here. But think about it. you've spent a lot of time and effort getting all the information on your website because theoretically it helps you sell your products. So why shouldn't all that same information be contained within your product feed? So that's one way of thinking about it. Everything on your website, get it in your feed. But as a kind of starting point, at least these attributes here should be included. Some of these ones here are category specific. So for example, genre would apply particularly if you were selling things like DVDs, ISBN numbers if you were selling books, and so on and so on. But all of these things, again, they're going to be able to help affiliates sell your product for you. In mobile and travel, there are some particular things as well. You know, we can get you copies of this presentation, so I don't need to go through all of these in detail. In travel in particular, you'll need to consult with your affiliates. In fact, mobile and travel, but have we got any travel merchants here? Yeah. You know, it's really important in that sector to talk to who you think is going to actually use the feeds, because with travel feeds, it works slightly differently to retail. So once you've invested in your feeds, you've got a competitive advantage above your competitors. You're probably going to deliver a better ROI in terms of the product feed marketing. So let affiliates know about the fact you've got a fantastic feed. Demonstrate the value you've got. Make sure you use the feedback you get to promote that. And just, you know, obviously promote them. Sounds like a crazy thing to say, but again, a lot of companies invest in a feed and then don't really kind of promote it on its own. They maybe tack it on as a last point on another promotional email. Actually promote your feeds individually. Monitor your stats, and obviously you need to provide support. I just thought I'd put this quick slide up about APIs, because a lot of people say, well, hold on a minute, what about a feed versus an API? Shouldn't I just do an API because that's more advanced? Well, APIs are obviously theoretically live data. So a true API is where an affiliate can send a request to your website or your server and get an immediate response back in terms of product information. So again, for things like travel, really, really useful to have. However, a lot more technical work required for affiliates to consume APIs. So even if you're going to do an API, you should always think about having a product feed as well. The other negative about APIs is that they're sensitive to the number of requests at the same time. So if you've got a huge inventory set and a large number of affiliates, you need to make sure you're putting enough resource behind that to support it. So that's my bit.